Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture. Please hit that like button, and please share this video if you care. Also, subscribe, and once you subscribe, you'll be open to a plethora of movies, television series that I have reviewed, and my pop culture chats. It was easier for me to come on live. Sorry for not giving any heads up, but it was just easier for me to come on live and do this really quick than to try to sit here and record and do all this other stuff. I'll do a thumbnail later. But listen, if you see the title of my video, TikTok is close to being banned. It passed the House and it passed the Senate, and now it has to go on President Biden's desk for him to pass it. And the issue in regards to that is the company that owns TikTok, which is ByteDance. They're wanting ByteDance to sell the company to an American uh, company within a year. So TikTok has a year. I don't know if they're going to fight this through Congress. I don't know exactly what they're going to do. But honestly, I don't think that that's the really big issue. I know that a lot of my followers say that they're not into politics, they're not into, or they watch what's going on with politics. But I'm explaining to you really quickly that it is important that you do understand what the people who were duly elected to serve you are doing. Now, from what I understand, there's about 175 million people, particularly Americans, who utilize TikTok for whatever reason that they utilize TikTok, right? That's 175 million. If you're on TikTok, you make money off of TikTok, you do all of those things in there, you are technically a business owner, so you need to make sure that your business interests are being protected. Uh, According to the government, our government, it says that because TikTok has close ties with China, that is a threat to national security, right? So, as we're looking at that line item, and you do have people discussing this and getting upset and being afraid that this is going to happen and yada, 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 y'all ain't paid no attention to what else is going on in that bill and how that is affecting us. And my question is TikTok the only threat to national security? One more again, because I know a lot of times people will be in the back and they be a little slow. Is TikTok the only threat to national security? Politics is important because of the fact that the people who are duly elected to serve you in Congress, that's the House of Representatives, that's the Senate, the people who are duly elected to serve you as the president and the vice president, you vote them in. And when you have these people in that are doing things for their own personal interest instead of the will of the people, you start seeing things. And what are you talking about, people? It's early in the morning. I don't. I rarely get up early in the morning unless I'm watching um, a YouTube video if I can make it up. But this got me because I was like, you're telling people that this you're wanting to ban this company, and like I said, the government understands and knows more than what they'll ever tell us. Okay, I don't want to mistake anybody that I don't hear that. But this is what I want young people to understand. That is the biggest red herring. The biggest red herring. Banning TikTok is the biggest red herring because you're so busy focused on the fact that TikTok is about to be banned. Did you look and see what else is in that foreign aid package? Let me break this down to you now. I am reading from the Associated Press. It says here it is a breakdown of what is in the 95 billion foreign aid package. Again, $95 billion. I remember a few years back, the people of the United States were arguing or requesting that there be some student loan forgiveness, particularly for people who have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of debt for being in college. Do y'all realize that that debt would have been paid by one payment that they sent out to Ukraine? But let me get back to, because I don't want to keep this long and I don't want to be, because I will go off on a tangent. So let me give you the broad spending breakdown. Out of that $95 billion, they're sending $61 billion for Ukraine replenishing U.S. stockpiles. The overall amount provided to Ukraine for the purchase of weapons would be $13.8 billion. Ukraine will receive more than $9 billion of economic assistance in the form of forgivable loans. Here's where that should piss you off. Because at one point they sent like $15 billion over to Ukraine a few years back. And $15 billion not only would have had a great economic impact on the spending power of the United States. Y'all realize this is your tax money going over there. They will spend your tax money to forgive loans for people overseas, people who live in the Ukraine. Now I'm talking to my black folk. And these are the same people, my black folk in the diaspora. But these are the same people that when they were being bombed, they were throwing all the Africans off the train saying that they can't get on the train. They're more important than the Africans that they had come over there to work labors, to go to school, or whatever that they had those Africans over there doing. And within the diaspora, we're supporting them sending, listen to this again, 13.8, excuse me, $9 billion is for economic assistance in the form of forgivable loans. But we all, as Americans, pay taxes, and we can't even get an incredible amount for paying all these taxes. We don't even get to have a say about where this tax money is going. But when we talk about that money to be spent on Americans, why are we jumping up, making a fit, acting like we should be having such a big fit about that particular piece as Americans, that particular piece? And these are people that, for some of the citizenry here in the United States, some of those Ukrainians will spit on you. But they get to have forgivable loans. But people who are here paying the taxes, they can't have no forgivable loan. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's continue. We've got $26 billion for supporting the state of Israel and providing humanitarian relief for people in Gaza. About $4 billion of that would be dedicated to replenish Israel's missile defense system. More than $9 billion of the total will go towards humanitarian assistance in Gaza amid the Israel-Hamas war. So the first thing I talked about Ukraine and the money that you're sinking into Ukraine. Is nobody thinking that that's a national security risk? The money that you're sinking into the state of Israel. No one is thinking that that is a national security risk? You got people focused on TikTok? TikTok. I'm like Alvin Iverson now. TikTok? We talking about TikTok. TikTok? You're spending we are sending our tax dollars. Let me break this down, because I know people want to be funny in the back, because people want to hear you when you're saying something and you're being direct and you're being clear. They want to act like you're saying something else. So I'm going to be very direct and clear. The sovereign state of the United States of America is sending another sovereign state, the state of Israel, $26 million. But here in your country of the United States of America, if anyone says anything negative or what is deemed to be negative, or if you criticize what the state of Israel is doing, they'll swear up and down that you hate every Jewish person on the planet. No one is criticizing the religious nor the ethnic group that say that they're Jewish. What we are criticizing is what the state, the sovereign state of Israel, is doing over there in that country to millions of people, because thousands of those people kidnapped some people a few months ago. You're killing millions to negotiate for 1,000 people. And United States taxpayers' money is being used to do that. And then when you open your mouth to criticize the way that the state of Israel is doing it, we are told that we're anti-Semites. We are told that we don't understand what's going on and we shouldn't open our mouth to say anything. And they selectively silence us, knowing that we should be able to speak what we need to speak, because that is a freedom. But we don't think that that is a threat to national security. Because one thing I know about the other people that live over there in that region or in their area, there's only so much that they're going to take, and there's only so much that they're going to handle. They may not get to the state of Israel, but you don't think that they're going to come after the state of the United States of America, and a sovereign state, sovereign country, excuse me. I've been using sovereign state, but the sovereign country. You don't think that they're going to come after the sovereign country that provided that money for it? Okay. All right. Okay. And then it says here about 8 billion for helping US allies in the Indo-Pacific region and countering China. More than 3.3 billion will go toward submarine infrastructure development, with an additional 1.9 billion to replenish the US weapons provided to Taiwan and other regions. So that is just an overall breakdown of what this foreign package is. And no one is thinking that the reasons that we are spending $95 billion outside of the United States of America, we do not think that that's going to be a problem with national security. I'm interested. And the reason why I'm talking to young people about this, let's be very clear. Do you not think when something pops off, it's going to be you that's going fighting? Because in the event of an extreme emergency, they will start pulling y'all 40 and younger men out to fight. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But they have all of you all focused on TikTok. It's not where y'all need to be. Y'all do not need to be focused on TikTok. You need to be focused on where this 90 something billion dollars is going. And you need to ask the question, if they can spend $90 billion in foreign aid, but would not spend $13 billion to assist American citizens with student debt loan and any other types of loans, so that they can quote unquote help the economy out, I don't know what's going on. Because you've noticed that everything has gotten more expensive, but your wages hasn't gone up to pay for those things. Most of us are what? 3, 4 paychecks away from not being able to pay bills. Some people are paying bills month by month. AI is confusing because everyone's so happy to use it, but no one is looking at the legal ramifications for using it. AI is good at mimicking voices. It's a lot to think about, except for, oh, well, they're banning TikTok. No, baby, y'all need to be paying attention to this other stuff that's in this bill. Because you're sending money to a sovereign state that when you can criticize that sovereign state for the actions that that sovereign state is taking in the name of that sovereign state, you can't in your own country criticize what's happening or you'll be labeled an anti-Semite. It's your money that you're sending. We've got to get together to start thinking about these things. And these are the things that um, I would love for you all to take notice of. And the issue and problem that I see with the United States of America, or as a whole sovereign country, that what I see is going on, and I look at this over probably in the past 10 to 15 years, they don't have the big bad black or brown person to go after. Pam, you don't know what you're talking about. Listen, for as long as I have been living, there's always been a big bad black or brown country that is the big bad. First, you're friendly with these countries because you want either their resource or their intel or any other thing. But after you sink so much money into them, then, I guess, quote unquote, the United States believes that they're biting the hand that feeds them. Then all of a sudden, those people become the big bad. In the 70s, it was a couple of African countries that were considered to be the big bad. In the late 70s, the Haitian country that was considered to be the big bad. All through the 80s, you had what's his name? Manuel Noriega. Was he in Panama? I think he was in Panama. He at one point was the big bad. But if you go back and you start understanding and reading about Iran Contra and all this other stuff, there was a lot of stuff that man was able to get away with, particularly selling drugs, that the government looked away because of the fact that they wanted that money to go over to funnel guns and weapons and ammunition into there. And black folks played a big pivotal role because y'all got strung out back in the 80s. And while everybody wasn't focused on that, you know what everybody was focused on? Crack. Crack is the most deadliest thing that's going to hit the United States. Cocaine and baking soda demolished a fourth of our population here, our infrastructure and businesses. A lot of folk went to jail behind selling cocaine and baking soda, baby powder, talcum, whatever they mixed with it. But we focus just on that. Not to say that it's not important. Don't mishear me, because I know a lot of people in the back going to say, "Oh, you're trying to compare that with it." No, I'm saying it's a red herring. We're focusing. We can focus on that because look at this. Here we are in 2024. And this particular drug was supposed to have decimated and been the worst of the worst. But you see, that's not the truth. What's taking out the majority of Americans? methamphetamines, fentanyl, all of these synthetic drugs made to mimic what happens in nature. But I'm just going back. There's always a black or brown person. You know, at one time it was Castro. Back in the 50s into the 60s, it was Castro. He was the big, huge, big bad. Idi Amin and them. They were the big bads. Muammar Gaddafi was a big bad back in the day. If you lived in pretty much any Muslim country, uh, Iran, Iraq, in the 90s, that's what was going on. In the 2000s, you ran into Afghanistan after 9/11, but didn't go to the place where all those terrorists, the sovereign country where all those terrorists in 9/11 went. You went to Afghanistan. Didn't walk into Saudi Arabia. Why? They had enough money to buy you out. All of that whole rant was to say that the United States doesn't have a big bad to focus on, and particularly a brown or black big bad that was going to be the red herring when they can't, because see, they can't focus and fight China. Outmatches. They're not going to go focus and fight Russia. Outmatches. Because these people, those two countries have the same capabilities that we have. Again, I'm hitting my mark. But again, like I said, we're focused on TikTok, and I do understand that there are people who are making money, but y'all need to read that foreign aid package that we get to send money to sovereign countries that, as a citizenry, you lose your livelihood for criticizing what these sovereign countries are doing. Ukraine, Israel. And the sad part about this whole thing, those young people, bless their hearts, those young people that lost their life at that concert, their sovereign state knew about it. They knew about what was going on, and they chose not to do anything. And I need for people to start asking why. Because they needed that. They needed this jump. We're not we Our livelihood as citizens of the United States of America is taken or severely tamped down. Even if we criticize the main focus or the main political group in the state of Israel is doing all of this. And it's the Zionists, the people that believe that that whole region is supposed to be for them. And it's God given. And because of that, they go and displace people who've been there since the dawn of time. All right. Because if I go any longer, then you're going to start hear me saying things uh, that come from my conspiratorial brain, and that's not what I wanted to focus on. What I wanted to say this: we're sending $95 billion. $61 billion is going to the Ukraine. 20 something billion is going to the state of Israel, with 8 or 9 billion dollars going to the Pacific, uh, Indochina Pacific thing to fight those different things. There's so much more going on with that for us to be focusing on this line item in a foreign aid package, mind you, that TikTok is going to be banned. There's so many other line items that we need to be focusing on, because I do think all of these aid packages are a bigger threat to national security than a social media app. I know, Pam. There's 175 million Americans that are on TikTok. And there's 175 million people on TikTok that share a lot of different things, from how to make tallow, how to social influence. But see, those are 75 million people also, where the United States government is not in the ability to control what these people listen to, what these people see. Y'all, let's not forget how Facebook and Instagram allowed Russian bots and things like that to infiltrate their platform, swaying, espousing fake election propaganda. Oh, we forgot that. American American social media company. We forgot that, huh? We forgot that. You focusing on the wrong thing. I need for you all that say that you all do not pay attention to politics. Y'all need to make sure that y'all are looking what's going on in that foreign aid package, and to see how that foreign aid package can contribute to a risk of national security. Because you don't think them folks over there on the strip got other folks around here who are going to avenge their deaths? First people they hit is the money folk. Small amount people. I need for us to focus, 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 focus. Hey, Blue. Oh, I know. And a lot of people are focused on that. And what I am saying is, there's $95 billion in that foreign aid package, and this is a line item in that foreign aid package. And they hype it up to say that this is a big risk of national security. And let me be very clear and let me be fair. When we have this two-party system, why they voted on that is because everybody is remembering about what happened with the Russians in the last election, and how they were able to infiltrate Instagram and Facebook and put all these ads and stuff like that out. Both parties don't want anything like that, and this is what they're saying, that or believing, both parties, both sides of the aisle are believing that TikTok has the power to do. But they want you focused on that. Meanwhile, you sending $61 million to the Ukraine, and 8 or 9, excuse me, not million, $1 billion, and $8 or $9 billion that they're giving forgivable free loans. But you let United States citizens who pay tax money for this foreign aid bill couldn't even get student loans forgiven. People had an issue and a problem, but the sovereign country of Ukraine has for $8 billion of forgivable loans. Anybody that's paying a student loan, anybody that has a bank loan, a mortgage, or whatever is going on, you should feel some kind of way about that. And these same people who are, and now I'm speaking about my black people in the diaspora, when they had all those Africans trying to get out from the bombings a couple of years ago, they were pushing them off the train. These same folks that tell you in your face, though, I appreciate your bluntness, but then they get to come over into the country, and you worried about the people south of the border. Okay, they chill, but it doesn't matter what people seen until the Palestine cop. Yeah, I just need for us, I'm the older states person. Yeah. You can't say or anything. You cannot criticize the sovereign country of Israel unless you then termed a anti-Semite. And that's not what that means. That's not what you does anybody remember that commercial where they were talking about social media? I think they were talking about tweeting or something like that. And the three old white ladies were sitting around and they were putting things on the board and the other old white lady comes in and she says, "That's not what this means. That's not what any of this means." Yeah, we got to be really and really truly aware. Now you see I'm up early because I saw this and I was like, I just have to speak on it. Um, don't know if I'm still streaming on all the platforms because they get upset about you talking like this, but it just had to go out. It has to be someplace. We're worried about TikTok, and I do understand. I know there's 175 million of you all that watch that app, and there's probably 20, 30 million people that make a sizable income uh, on that app and all those different things. And I know a lot of you all hate to see that app go, but while you were so busy focused on that app, your duly elected officials are running around here sending money out to people that they tell you as this citizenry who supplied that money that you can't criticize them folk. And you will be the first, the citizenry, to pay the price. The citizenry will pay the price for all of this foreign aid going out here and all these problems. Because again, American, and like I said, I have lived long enough to see it. America does not know how to function without having a quote unquote big bad bully black person, a brown person. They don't know how to function. They got you believing that the people in the south of the border are your problem. They're not your problem. You've been dealing with immigrants and immigrations since the inception of this country. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell your coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, right? And as always, people, bye bye.